Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the CW. We got some breaking news in regards to a show that is supposed to air on the same day as Superman Lois later this year. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so we've got a couple of topics to talk about. One is Arrowverse related, one strictly CW and Superman Lois related. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So the article that we're breaking down is from TV Line. Now, TV Line, obviously very reputable, and this is them reporting about this new show that has been pulled from the CW's full schedule. Now, this is a big deal, so let me explain why it's a big deal. This is The Librarians. This is the next chapter of The Librarians, which is a very popular show from the past. There's also been films and stuff, but the whole reason that Superman Lois moved days, so it's going to be airing on Thursdays, was specifically because the Librarians were supposed to pair up with it, because they thought the audience would be similar, because Librarians is pretty fun, it garners a similar kind of age range in terms of their audience, so that's why they paired it, I believe, and is one of the few fiction drama shows that are left on the CW that's actually kind of interesting. Like, I am interested to see if The Librarians, the next chapter, is good, especially if it was airing before Superman Lois. But let's read this report, because the CW is, I don't know what they're doing, but apparently Librarians has been indefinitely delayed, according to TV Line. And so it's being held by the CW and will no longer air this fall. It was originally slated to premiere Thursday, October 24th, same day as Superman Lois at 9/8 Central, the hour after Superman Lois, and a new date has not yet been determined. So the news comes one day after the CW announced that The Wranglers, an 8-part docuseries, was going to be coming and would now air after Superman Lois as of October 24th. And obviously that would have 8 episodes, so it would go on for like 8 weeks, and we know Superman Lois has got a shorter season of 8 weeks, so that pairs up nicely. But the docuseries doesn't make any sense to come after Superman Lois. There is no connection in terms of the audience, and that's why obviously Librarians initially made sense. So they don't have the details why this was pulled, but the reason I wanted to talk about it in this video is just, obviously it impacts Superman Lois, but not in a huge way. However, it just goes to show the chaos that is going on at the CW. Like, they clearly don't know what they're doing, and this just really proves to me, yeah, this network is going absolutely nowhere. We've said it for a while that we think probably the CW is going to be dead and they're going to have to sell the network, or they're just going to give up on it because it's in so much debt and it's just not worth it for them. And yeah, I just really think this is just another sign that the changes that Nexstar made by cancelling all their great fiction genre-led shows was a terrible idea. Obviously they cancelled all the DC shows like Stargirl, like Legends of Tomorrow, with the idea that they would replace it and come up with a new strategy that would actually be profitable for them. But clearly this is not working, because they keep on going back and forth with all their new shows and everything that they want to bring to the network, and they keep on cancelling new shows and delaying them and just being super indecisive, and this is just another example of this. But luckily for us, nothing is going on with Superman Lois. It's not moving. It's going to stay on the same date that this show was supposed to air on as well. So October 24th, that is when we're getting Superman Lois Season 4. And Superman Lois obviously in a special circumstance where it's probably the most valuable show left on the network, and after it goes there is going to be pretty much nothing else that is going to be the calling card for the CW apart from All American, which got renewed for another season, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, I think the network's going downhill, and that's kind of my analysis about what's going on with the CW right now. Let's move on to our next main topic. This is in regards to a Screen Rant thread that someone posted online, and the topic of the thread was this: should Arrowverse actors join James Gunn's DCU? And I haven't heard it put that way before, and it got me thinking, would it be a good thing, or would it actually be a detriment to the DCU if James Gunn started introducing familiar faces and casting them in the same roles? Obviously, they could show up in different roles and that would be fine. However, let's get into this. Let's have a little conversation. So I want you guys to comment in the comments down below. What do you think about all of this? Please tell me your thoughts and opinions. So the thread goes on to say this: with James Gunn's DC universe yet to start, there are many DC heroes and villains that still need to be cast. Actors from the Arrowverse, DC's shared universe on TV, have already got experience with the concept that the DCU follows, talking about being expansive, being to do with the multiverse, and having multiple projects going on at once and crossing over. I think the new DCU could use some Arrowverse stars to help establish the new shared universe. While I believe that Grant Gustin, who Gunn wants to work with, as has been previously stated, could reprise his role as the Flash in the DCU, I think any other Arrowverse actors should play different characters in the DCU and adding talent to the franchise and keeping it fresh. So that is the thread. Now, I really don't think it would be a detriment to bring Arrowverse actors into the DCU. It definitely would work, and I would love to see Grant Gustin show up as a version of the Flash. It doesn't have to be his version. It would be great if it was, because obviously he got excluded from the DCEU when they made the Flash movie, and other Arrowverse actors definitely could show up, and I actually am a big advocate for this because I really like what the Arrowverse previously did by bringing in DC legacy actors, basically actors who had worked on various DC projects, whether they were big characters or they were small characters, but they brought them back because they're important and they knew that fans would connect to certain actors. Like if you have a look at, say, John Wesley Shipp, right? He played the Flash in the 90s and he played Barry's dad on the show, and also Henry Allen, and there was already a connection established. Like, you didn't have to question if he was a member of the Allen family or something like that, or if Helen Slater would make a good version of Supergirl's mum. Well, clearly she made a good version, and it was a pretty easy casting to do, and so I would like to see more of that in the future because I'm a fan of it, and I think it's totally fine to play different characters. Although it would be great to see like Steven play Arrow again, or it would be great to see Melissa show up as a version of Supergirl, whether it's Power Girl or any other iterations of Supergirl. So hopefully I'm not rambling too much, but you get my idea. I don't think it would be a detriment to include past DC actors in the new DC universe. And as we previously said, James Gunn is open to working with Grant Gustin because he's a fan of him. But if we take a step back from all of this, with the projects that James Gunn is working on in the DCU, I don't think they're going to really put a huge emphasis on trying to get past actors to return to projects. I think the first part of the DCU, the first phase, as James Gunn has called it, which is Gods and Monsters, they're definitely going to just try and build the universe, have some foundations, but also not put too much pressure on themselves. And by including cameos and by including crossover characters from the past, I think James would be putting a lot of pressure on himself and all the different filmmakers, because it's a big deal to do crossovers. Like, we saw how disappointed people were with the Flash cameos because they didn't include someone as important as Grant Gustin that we were all expecting, because it's a Flash film. They cross over in Crisis. Everyone was expecting him to show up. So the cameos didn't really pull off in a great way, unlike, say, in the MCU with Spider-Man, when we got to see the various versions of Spider-Man show up, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, because those cameos make sense, and the cameos in the Flash just didn't make sense. But anyway, that's just my little rant to do with that, because I'm still not over Grant Gustin not being included. But what actors, what characters could return in the future in the DCU? I guess you can just point to the main actors. Probably Stephen Amell and Grant are the most likely. Maybe Cress Williams could show up as a version of Black Lightning. That would be absolutely great. And so it really depends the way that they want to take kind of cameos. And I do think the DCU will have cameos and crossovers at some point as they build the universe. What I'm saying is, it's just not going to be right at the start. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. The first part was to do with the CW and the current state of the network, but also the second part obviously was Arrowverse related. And sorry if I rambled a little bit, but I have lots of thoughts and theories about the different things to do with the DCU and the potential involvement of the Arrowverse. So yeah, for now, please be sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.